Hi, I want to talk about overdue obligations to the Inland Revenue Department because this is a problem that I'm seeing out there right now for business owners, and for some people I'm speaking to, these obligations have been incurring for the last couple of years, and they had a plan, and that plan was to pay the IRD the money that was owed, and that plan was in place. But COVID-19 has disrupted that plan, and this is a common theme that I'm seeing. So, what should you do in a situation where you have this massive debt owing to the IRD, and in some cases, we're talking of hundreds of thousands of dollars owing to the IRD? What should you do about that? The starting point for me is to understand why the business owner got into this situation in the first place, and whether or not that is whether or not they've made changes to their business or the way they operate to make sure that this won't happen again. To make sure they're current with their obligations. So, are they just deepening their ongoing obligations to the IRD, or is this truly a legacy issue? And the current landscape is they can be current, they can pay, and they've got some surplus. So once we understand some of these things, we can put together a forecast, and generally we work with an accountant to make sure that this happens well and accurately, and we forecast what the ability to pay the IRD will be beyond this point. We make a really robust proposal to the IRD, and there's no point doing a one-page proposal to the IRD. I think you need to be proactive. You need to put everything on the table. You need to let the IRD understand why you got here, what you've changed moving forward, and how your proposal is viable. And if you can do this, and you can be current in your obligations, you're filing your returns, you're paying your current returns, and you need a plan to solve the legacy issues, then the IRD is probably going to be willing to negotiate with you because they need to maximize their recovery here as well. So we put together a proposal, and often that looks like X amount paid up front, X amount paid per month, and in most cases we can get penalties written off, and penalties account for a massive portion of outstanding debt to the IRD if it's accumulated. In some cases, interest can be dealt with as well, but it's very much case by case. And in some rare cases, even a reduction of core is possible, but again, it's rare. So very much case by case, but it's about being proactive with the IRD. Now, can resolve that problem with the IRD, then great. But for some business owners, that's not actually going to be possible post COVID-19. COVID-19 has changed everything for a lot of business owners, especially in certain industries. So now we need to talk about what the plan is moving forward, and for some people that's going to be liquidation, and for some people it might be a hibernation. And so it's about finding the best plan for the business in question and implementing that as early as possible, because to continue trading without a plan is a really dangerous thing. And you need a forecast, you need a plan, and from our perspective, the earlier you speak to a professional, the better your results will be, and the better your outcome can be. We see a lot of business owners in the past put their head in the sand for far too long, and they deny the problems, or they have a strategy of hope, and hope is not a strategy. Hoping things get better, hoping the government bails us out, all of that is not going to be helpful. $50 billion just allocated to Kiwis from the government. How much of that is actually helpful to small to medium businesses? Not a lot. And so, these hope-based strategies need to be put to bed, and we need to get very meaningful strategies for business owners to resolve these complex problems. So from our perspective, we offer a free 30-minute legal consultation where we can work through the issues, we can work through the circumstances, and put together the best plan for each business, which may include a variety of corporate rescue strategies, or at the worst case scenario, liquidation. And hey, look, in a lot of cases it's not as bad as what people think. So if you need help, book a call. The link will be in the comments. Happy to have a chat on a no obligation basis and make sure you're heading in the right direction. If you do have any questions, put them in the comments below, or directly message us, and we will respond, and we will come back to you. Cheers.